Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true.
Welcome to Navtastic, a podcast about 8 seasons in a row. I'm Lisa Fernandes, and...
Ka-choo. I am Chris Jayawardena. Hello.
And we're about to review the Beatnik show from season 5 of Laverne Shirley, directed by Joel Zwick and written by Barry Rabinowitz and Al Idekman. I bet you Chris has some facts about them coming up later in the episode.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and here's what this episode is about. The Beat Generation finally comes to Milwaukee, and the girls find themselves swept up in the excitement after attending a night of spoken word poetry at the Buttered Cocoon, a coffee shop. After Shirley climbs on stage and performs a scarf dance, she becomes a hit. And then the hipster named Lady Cool, the disinterested hickeys in an all-black outfit. Laverne fears she's losing her best friend, but a pep talk from Lenny convinces her that no matter what, her best friend is worth relating to. What do you think of this episode?
Well, it's definitely not what I expected Art Garfunkel to do after his stellar turn in Bad Timing only a couple of years prior.
Amazing. Or carnal knowledge.
Yep, carnal knowledge and Catch-22 as well, which I finally, just earlier today, before we did pod, it's only flashed in my mind, oh, he was that guy, right.
Yeah. Yes, it was. He did a lot of acting. He actually did do a lot of acting in between music gigs, so...
Yeah, but yeah, anybody out there who thinks like, oh, wow, it's great to see Art Garfunkel can be funny, cautiously watch Bad Timing, you will never be able to look at that man the same way again. It is an astounding performance, but my God, that is an emotionally brutal movie. It is
I'm afraid to ask because I have not seen that yet.
You haven't seen? Oh my God! It is probably my favorite Nicholas Roeg movie.
Oh. Well.
Oh yeah, and I have seen Don't Look Now, and I have seen The Man Who Felt Earth. Yeah, Bad Timing is hauntingly stunning. It's incredible. Anyway, sorry about that, folks.
No. Geek out. It's good. It's healthy.
But not to mention, I mean, this is the thing is, I mean, what's kind of cool about this episode and Art being in this really emotionally intense film is that then you see him in this, and he is this wonderful goofball. He's really only there for just one scene, but it's so much fun. Beatnik show. This is definitely one of my favorites of the season so far.
Yes.
It's fun. It's really sweet. It captures a wonderful sense of earnesty. And, you know, we just have come off of You Ought to Be in Pictures, which was all about humiliation. And this is all about acceptance.
Yes.
And it's so good.
It's about friend love.
Yeah.
This is an excellent episode. In case you're all wondering why Art is in this episode, he was dating Penny at the time. They had just gotten together recently. She had been in the middle of divorcing Rob Reiner. And he was one of the first people she dated after she divorced him. So, Art was there for a reason. That's why he is the Mighty Oak. But this is one of the best episodes of the season, and this season is jam-packed full of great episodes. It's amazing how good this season is, especially compared to the unevenness of season 4A, and the fact that they were fighting for their lives in the ratings at this point. They were basically 2 inches from cancellation at any time, at any moment during this. So if you really think about this, really think about it, the fact they were producing this much quality material is amazing. It's just like a stunning turn of events, if you really think.
Yeah, it's really strong. It's got a lot of wild stuff. We have some wonderful little support performances. We've got, it's interesting. You almost kind of can feel that, like, when you mention that they're fighting for their lives in the ratings.
Yes.
They absolutely, it shows that they are really working their asses off here.
Yeah.
And I love that, Cindy.
Yes.
Cindy Williams was a new Hollywood gal. I mean, she was in Gas. She's amazing in Gas. It's a wild performance out of a bizarre movie.
Yes.
She's in The Conversation.
Yes.
She's in Return of the Blob, which doesn't seem like a new Hollywood movie, but when you watch it, it was directed by the guy from I Dream of Jeannie. I can't remember the actor's name now.
Bill, what's his name? Elizabeth Montgomery's husband?
No, the guy from I Dream of Jeannie.
Dick York?
No.
No, I'm in the wrong thing. I'm in Bewitched. Why am I in Bewitched? Maybe I Dream of Jeannie. Larry Hagman? No,
yes.
The guy. Larry Hagman directed it?
Yeah, Larry Hagman directed Return of the Blob. I am not kidding at all.
Oh my god!
Uh,
Why was I thinking of Bewitched when I should have been thinking of I Dream of Jeannie? Jesus Christ.
but he also directed and appeared briefly in low budget comedy in 1972, Beware of the Blob or Son of the Blob, which I love the movie except for the fact they killed a kitten at the beginning of the movie. But it is very much a like. It's like the new Hollywood kind of integrating with the old Hollywood or like the late 50s, early 60s Hollywood. It's a wild movie. And so my point is that was Cindy's like beginning as an actor. Yes. And you see that here. It's so good. It's so fun.
Yeah. She has so much fun with this. That scarf dance is legendary. This is another legendary episode. There's a lot of memorable episodes in season 5. And this is one of them. And she just takes every little bit that she is given to do all of this beatnik poetry and dancing and expressive, cool stuff.
Yep.
To the limit. She's having so much fun. It's a delight to watch. It really is.
My mom adored the dance. Just the goofiness. She was loving it. She was loving it. Like it's because what's cool about it is it's free and it's expressive, and yet it's also parody, and it's kind of straight. It's straight parody where doing the thing honestly and earnestly is the parody. It's like Airplane, where you play it straight. No one's winking.
Yeah. Exactly. That's fabulous. I love the fact that apparently Frank and Edna went to this place before. They hated it. Well, she liked it. He hated it.
It was a kick. It stunk.
It stunk. Give it a chance.
Yeah, and this Beatnik dive bar, this new Beatnik place, is called the Buttered Cocoon. Yes. That name is incredible.
Yes. I actually named the photo gallery on my website that. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
God, I love
website.
you. Wow.
Wow.
Okay, before we get too far ahead of things, I did want to mention there's this whole bit at the beginning with the Frigidaire and the fridge, and she's trying to see if the light actually turns off. And this is great little physical comedy, but there's the bit where there's a line out of Shirley. Boy, think of all the people wasting their times at movies and parties when they could just be at home playing with their Frigidaires. And my note is, Lily, get out of Shirley. And I had this theory of like, maybe Lily passed away and Barb is now possessing Shirley and reincarnating inside of her daughter's consciousness.
Oh God, Ruby style.
and now, of course, this does get disproven because later Laverne is actually on the phone with Barb and is talking to her. But
yes.
But yeah, it's a trip.
I love it. Me too. I love the little teeny espresso cups. They had never seen espresso before this.
Oh yeah,
they're just sipping espresso, which would obviously be true because you're in Milwaukee and. Early 60s, of course. 60s,
never,
yeah, you would never have seen that before.
What's the line? It's we serve espresso here. Yes, you're very quick.
Yes, that's great. That's fun. That's a good fun.
I have a question for you as well. I've been doing this a lot in this particular recording session, but so obviously we both live in areas where there have been bohemian cultures in our vicinity. Have you been to a little dive cafe like this yourself?
Yes, there is a little folk cafe that's like that. There's also a place like that in Boston that are very bohemian and hip in that way, or try to be. Trying to be was the obvious underlying part there. Trying.
Yeah, the thing that I love about this is it captures it perfectly. I mean, I've been to venues and places, and with these names, with the Tood and stuff, in Portland, and it's very Northwest Portland. It's a particular era of Northwest Portland from like 2006 through like 2018 or so, because recently it's become a lot more gentrified up there. But and also there was a gas explosion that destroyed a building like in 2000.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that was a while ago. So the just the level of detail here, the outfits, the hairstyles, the beards, the even like the oh god, he's listed as the birthday boy, Doug Cox, who is the guy which I think is the guy in the trash can.
Yes, he's fun.
And that character actually will be back on Laverne Shirley later. We'll get to that when we get to like in front of and behind the scene details. It just there's all of this. Again, it's just that earnestness with which it's being parodied is so well done. I do find beatniks are a very easy thing to make fun of because of that, because they're inherently silly when you take them at face value. It's only when you you allow yourself to let go of all your pretensions that you begin to realize, oh, I get it.
Yeah. There's nothing mean or cruel or mean-spirited about it. It's just expressing yourself in a different way. It's Coolsville.
Yeah. I'm amazed. I like this episode so much, even though this is a friends have a argument because one of them changes their personality episode. I usually hate those.
Yeah. And it's handled pretty well here. Because Shirley kind of always is looking out for a way to express herself that's fresh and new and shows mental and emotional growth. And in this case, she's kind of not outgrowing Laverne, but growing a sense of becoming someone newer, different, but still herself. She's trying to figure out where she fits in socially.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to do. She's trying to figure out where in the modern zeitgeist she fits in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she's trying to do.
Yep. And again, we figure early 20s, like at oldest, like 23, 24, 25, you know?
Yeah.
This is that stage where you're just, the world was changing so rapidly, and these new scenes, man. And, you just kind of figure out where you fit and how it all works.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it's really interesting. And I, the full cliche, Cheryl going full cliche it's very her, because it's about it's creating a narrative. And so now she's like rewritten her past or rewritten her history. And, but just, my mom pointed out she was sort of like Judy Funny from Doug, Yeah,
kind of.
And, and has to like sort of assimilate. And what I think is kind of cool about the message at the end is these are things that she was, as you're saying, she was looking for where she fits. Parts of these perspectives, like the thing about the book. I can't remember what the book was called or what I'm sure it's a well-known book from that period.
On the Road. So it's the other one. No. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Laverne responding, well, he's wrong. And, and then Shirley freaking out going, but he's brilliant. And at the end, she doesn't renounce that. She doesn't, recant her faith in that belief system, and that belief of it's good, because to her, it matters. And they disagree, aggressively,
exactly.
But it's yeah. And I mean, actually that whole argument scene is really good. I love the blocking of it, how it moves from one side of the space to the other. It's really special. It's like a dance.
It's really, really, really nicely done. The whole thing is beautifully directed. And the writing is really great.
Mm-hmm.
The writing is really great when it comes to this episode. It is stunning. I love that Shirley manages to hook onto this idea. The whole idea of it being a leaf.
Mm-hmm.
A leaf is the universe. And how serious she is about this, and Laverne just can't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't get it. How is a leaf the universe? How is a leaf the universe?
And Lenny's
Yes.
follow up with that. We'll get to that scene in a bit. That's a big one to unpack. But
oh yeah, we're gonna have fun with that one.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna have fun. Oh yeah. I love that the big dividing line here is that their friend has a hickey in the shape of Texas, right?
Texas, yes.
On her neck.
Yeah, because he's got those weird, they call him lantern mouth? He's got those teeth.
Yes, he's got his teeth weird. Not weird. He's got his teeth gapped. So
right.
So yeah, and I love that. That's the dividing line. That's what provides the social dividing line. Hickeys aren't cool, Laverne. They're not cool.
No way, Laverne. Hickeys aren't cool.
They're not cool. I just love the way she says that, and Laverne's building confusion and angst over this whole situation.
Yes. Oh, and just above I have my note. There's not just one picture of Allen Ginsberg. There's 2 Ginsberg pictures on either door.
Yes. Yeah, the posters. They're hanging there. Yep. And I love that the little subtle changes to the apartment that she's put in otherwise. You can look around, you can see like little stones and little things she's changed. You have to really take a close peek and watch it.
It's just there's a lot of it matches and mirrors the lots of little touches throughout the episode that make it just so darn good.
Like the Mighty Oak spoke very highly of you, Laverne. He's crazy about your bongos.
I had a moment of that. My note is, oh, hi, life entering the show.
I know, it's such an in-joke. I just have in-joke in all caps after that sentence.
I bowl no more. Well, she stunk at it. So, I mean, she clearly didn't want to apply herself to it. And, she probably didn't enjoy it that much.
All you have to do is unpack them, as Amy Adams once said in the wonderful horror comedy Psycho Beach Party. All you gotta do is unpack them. Anyway, I love the line, "We welcome you as a tomato in the salad of life."
Yes.
That is great.
That whole portion of the beginning. "We welcome you as ham welcomes cheese on the rye bread of friendship."
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. And there's that bit, $5 for crummy coffee and a Mighty Oak, and it's like, yeah, that's Portland.
Yep. That's Milwaukee in the 60s too, apparently. Oh gosh, there's a lot of great stuff here.
Yeah.
The boys' hello line here is weak, but the scene that follows is very strong.
That's exactly
Belief in every jerk. Sorry, go ahead.
That is exactly what I said in my notes as well. Wow, that's a weak hello.
The scene that follows is so great. It's a leaf in every jerk, and his mother knows it.
Hello.
And Lenny's in an apron. The boys are making meat cake upstairs. They already got the frosting carved. The only one is a cup of pork.
A cup of pork, making a meat cake, yeah. Which I found interesting. The two aren't against aprons. I know that technically it's, I think, like a painter's smock that that Squeaky, but Squeaky seems dumb enough to think that they're all aprons. All aprons. It's an apron. It's women's stuff,
Women's stuff. Women wear aprons, and I gotta look masculine. It's always.
You wear the apron because you're kind of effeminate. It's probably how the conversation went.
I guess girly. I ain't girly.
But I guess they also realize that being domestic isn't a bad thing. Besides, you get much more. You get a lot more. Nail stylists. Beauticians and such
nail
up to
stylists, bell ringers, so to speak.
Yeah.
All those kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Phone operators. All very pool hall girls. All those kind of girls. I love Lenny's wearing his blue baseball shirt here. And he's got that frilly red check apron that the boys have worn more than once on. So that's really cute. And it's clearly come down from either Squiggy's mother or Lenny's sister. So I love that they even have that.
Oh God, part of me makes me wonder if is it really so destitute that it's one from the other? It first came from Squiggy's mom, then to Lenny's sister, and then to Lenny.
Possibly, they didn't have any cash. all a possibility.
I'm assuming you really like the bit where Laverne yanks him
Yes.
by the apron.
She's got him by the Bullwinkle. She's got him by the apron strings. Right by the apron strings. And then she yoinks him and makes him stop. And you know Squiggy knows that that Lenny could butter Laverne up.
Well, he certainly he knows that he can butter her popcorn until she's ready to, ham it up.
Yeah, that's what she said. Then they settle down and they have this really, really, really sweet conversation. It's really adorable.
Yeah. This ranks very highly on the heart-to-heart talks in general, but for a Laverne one, this is really good.
Oh, yes, it is. I love how she automatically turns to him. Whenever there's something she can't discuss with Shirley, she automatically turns to him. And this is an excellent example of that. And then Lenny has his comparative story about how he and Squiggy had almost broke up when Squiggy found a different friend group, and how he decided it didn't matter. He was going to climb up into that treehouse. He was going to join them, no matter what. And they just made him climb out on branches to test to see which one was safe and wasn't more. Poor Lenny.
Oh, it hurt Laverne.
It was terrible. It was terrible, Laverne. And just goes easy, Len. Starts stroking his arms.
Yep.
Just stroking and rubbing his arms.
Yeah, it's again this intimacies, these comforts. It's nice. And again, it speaks to the honesty of the episode, of this particular script, this particular episode. And it's just really good. I like that they're being good friends for each other, because I love, as we were talking about the scene when he finally says, I wouldn't say this if he were here, yes. But I really love that guy, Laverne. There's nobody like him, and
so sweet.
I love, I know that this thing will work out between you and Shirley because you feel the same way about her that I feel about him.
You love her just the same way I love him. You love her just the same I love him, right? Oh, my heart. So good.
Yep.
So
Yep.
good.
Oh, boys, bros. That's bros. It's broship.
And he knows that the friendship the girls have is completely comparable to the friendship that he has with Squiggy. He understands it. That's the mirror parallels that they are to each other. Then he gives her the best little around the neck bro hug.
Yep. And slips off the arm and says, "You got to get that fixed."
Yeah, that fixed. I don't know if that was Michael just falling off the arm of the chair or that was intentional, but either way.
Hey, if it works, it works. If it works, it stays in the picture.
Yep. Landed him right in her lap, too. I love Squiggy in this. I love the notion that Squiggy can't read and hear at the same time.
He's only human.
Me back. Yeah, I was only human. Uh-oh, there are 2 black scorpions.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if this is an adaptation of the Black Scorpion movie, the Willis O'Brien monster flick. I mean, I know it's a spy movie.
I was going to add that this takes me back to that we interviewed the guys did.
Right. Yeah.
Where they said that if one of the guys got married, it would be okay. Because while the guy was having marital relations with his wife, the other one would just be over somewhere reading. And I guess you could say the two of them are having emotional marital relations in the scene. But that's what it reminded me of. Whenever I see this scene, I think about that. It's like, wow, that made it into canon, in a way. The cleanest way possible, it made it into canon.
Oh man, yeah, I'm so happy about that. I had forgotten that until you brought that up. Oh man,
I love it. I love it so much. I love that they make this little team. Laverne and Lenny do, and the way they hug and the way he kisses, he doesn't kiss her. Yeah, he doesn't kiss her in the scene, but the hugging and the way she puts her hand on his knee. You look at the body language and you look at the way they touch each other. You compare this to season 1 and you see the development.
Indeed.
It's going down.
Yep. Oh, I'm expecting a great 7-minute thesis about this when we get to our top fives for season 5.
Yeah, if it makes it in, because there are a lot of prime episodes that happen this season. So
That's
they'll
true.
probably will make it in. I don't like it.
I mean, on the bright side,
So
when we get, if the two-parters, we can just stick, if either of those end up on there, we'll just, stick them as one slot, so that saves space.
I have a good feeling about Moose Jaw. For at least one of our lists. I have a good
Yeah.
feeling about Moose Jaw. But, so we finally get back to the club, and there are so many cameos in this scene.
Yes.
That I had to point out to you. I had to point these out to you.
Yes, he did. And one, I recognized the face, I forgot the name.
Yes. And that's Terry Garr. That is Carol Kane. And that is Art Garfunkel once again in that audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably likely that Carol Kane, might have been after a day of filming on Taxi. She came in and they gave her a seat. And I think all of them were friends of Penny or Cindy or both of them. So,
Yeah, it's possible.
well, obviously, what Art was doing with Penny, but yes.
Speaking of, since this is a good time, we're getting close towards the end of the actual episode's timeline. Do we want to cover the actors? Because I have information about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these wonderful folks.
Go for it.
Okay, so we'll start quickly with Art Garfunkel. If you're not familiar with who Art Garfunkel is, I don't know what to tell you. Just look him up. It's he's just appreciate the sound of silence for a second, Anyway, but as well as being one of the greatest musicians of the most well-known and covered bands in the 20th century, he also was a character actor. We mentioned before Bad Timing, as well as Catch-22 and Carnal Knowledge. Catch-22 and Carnal Knowledge are probably because of the Mike Nichols collection, because he did worked on the music for The Graduate. And after this appearance on the show, he'd also get parts in Boxing Helena, 54, and The Rebound. So Raphael, the guy who runs the place, that is Paul Kreppel. This is his first on-screen performance, but he has a long career ahead of him, including a Fantasy Island appearance and, of course, The Love Boat. But he would snag a role on It's a Living for 9 years on 120 episodes. So after that, he has a string of TV parts and was just recently in Never Forgotten, which should be out by the time this episode is up, but he's still working as an actor. He's very much a working actor. And actually, most of these folks are working actors to this day, including, as mentioned, Doug Cox, the birthday boy. He was an actor who was in Carrie, actually, as the Beak. He appears once more on Laverne and Shirley as a character named Zwick, so we'll get to that at some point. His TV career had lots of bits of acting from Private Benjamin, Street Hawk, and even Quantum Leap and The Golden Girls. But here's the cool thing about Doug. He was responsible for the writing of 3 episodes of Pee-wee's Playhouse in the late 1980s. And because of that, him still working today means he has an appearance in Pee-wee's Big Holiday. He's also most recently been in Young Sheldon, Grace and Frankie, and as of this recording, has 2 projects coming up. So keep an eye out for those. Next one I also mentioned is The Waitress. It's like snaps up, hey, waitress, what do you want? Yeah. So this is her first role for her, as well as on screen, leading to a spot on Voyager, St. Elsewhere. This is an awesome piece of nerd trivia. She is the prostitute in the Bullshit or Not segment from Amazon Women on the Moon. So she's the one that gets attacked by...
Oh my god!
So she's the one attacked by the Loch Ness Jack the Ripper.
Oh my God.
And just absolute definition of a working actor. Various productions even up to this day. Now, more recently, like the last 10 years, mostly shorts, the last few years, probably new media stuff and whatnot. But hey, still working, and depending on what region Sarah Lilly is in, she's getting paid for it. Final one. Awesome. I've got some interesting trivia about this one. So this is Shelley Lipkin as the poet. Rutabaga. I believe is that guy. So this is one of his first on-screen performances, followed by 2 more spots on this season of the show, which I won't spoil, but he will be coming back. He went on to get a lot of TV parts from LA Law, Getting By, Lois and Clark, Gaggle films in the 2000s. But he would later settle for a while in Oregon and teach acting and appear in a few productions in the state. I highly recommend of those a short film called Sack Lunch. It's a bit gross, but it's a great vengeance conclusion. Yes. Trivia note is I actually probably have met this guy. one point, because he has trained people that I've personally have met, and I don't know how active he is as an acting teacher, because I think he retired about 7 years ago. Cool. 4 to 5 years ago. But yeah, his latest performance is in a film called Losing Addison, which I know the writer-director of, and I know a lot of folks who worked on it, and actually helped recommend the guy who got the gig as the director of photography. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's nifty.
So yeah, that covers cool. That covers the actor notes.
That's super cool. That's really neat.
I know that was a trip realizing, wait a minute, Shelley Lipkin, and then looking up and it's like Population 2 and this, because Population 2 was a really promoted short film that was made here in Portland. I wasn't personally a fan of it, but that's just me. Anyway, but yeah, I mentioned that to my dad, and he was like, wait a minute, you mean that guy, the sack lunch guy? I was like, yeah, it's him. But anyway, so writer notes. I actually didn't realize that Barry Rabinowitz was credited, because I don't think he's credited on. He might be credited on the episode itself as well, but IMDb led me astray about that. So apologies, I don't have any Rabinowitz notes for today. But Al Idikman. So just to quickly mention, he did a bunch of various episodes through seasons 4 and 5, and at this point he was mostly a story editor. But in addition to this episode, Upstairs Downstairs, earlier, he also has a survival test coming up this season. And he has another 6 episode to come after that. He would later work on Different Strokes, It's Your Move, You Again, and even on script revisions of the Flintstones movie. Poor bastard. His most recent work was in 2007, it looks like, on an episode of Matrimonio con Hijos, which appears to be a sitcom, a Spanish language sitcom. Yeah. And Joel Zwick. This is our last episode of this particular recording session. I promise there will be notes about Joel Zwick. Fingers crossed in the next batch of episodes.
Good. All right. That was neat. That was really super neat. That was so neat. So, I love Shirley's hand poem. It can snap. It can wave. I just love that.
It is a delight. Yeah. Yes. It waves hello. It waves goodbye. It makes friends. It makes bunny rabbits. Let us all ponder and contemplate the hand. And cue Laverne. You can hear Michael laughing in the audience like crazy through this bit.
Yeah. You can usually either hear Michael or Eddie laughing their butts off during the tapings of the show when they're not on stage. But God, yeah, he was losing it during this one. Oh, gosh. I want to know more about that garbage can routine.
That feels like a syndication edit, to be honest.
Yeah, it possibly is. It might be, but it's funny.
It is good.
I want to know more. I love that Laverne tries to get her best friend back with a simple, normal poem about their friendship.
Yep.
It's really sweet.
It is. It's really sweet. And again, it's that sort of like childish purity of the best friend that you've known since you were, yay high.
Yeah.
And I love Cindy's performance of it melting her heart. It is so sweet. And knowing that, it really leads to the tragedy of, how, they fought, they loved each other, but they fought around this time too. And it got difficult. And, because God, there are those moments when it's like, you can sort of see, whether it's real or not, you want it to be real, that friendship is unbreakable.
Well, we know that before Penny passed, they had completely made up, and Cindy would come to her house, and they would watch TV in bed together.
That's awesome.
So sweet.
That's so them. That's so them.
And then, so cute.
But yeah,
So
when she finishes the poem, my mom was saying, "Uh-oh, they didn't think it was cool. She's not cool. Uh-oh."
Yeah. No snapping. But that's what snaps Shirley out of it, because to Shirley, Laverne will always be cool.
Yep.
That ultimately ends the reign of Lady Coon.
Yeah, man.
And then they become friends again.
And,
there are 2 callbacks here.
Yes.
Yeah, Laverne has peanut butter banana ripple ice cream, and she likes ice cream with anything that's ripples.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they call it the Elvis wherever she got it from.
I don't know, but it looks good. It sounds good. And we get a call back to the famous yearbook poem from the pilots.
Mm-hmm.
Which is delightful. It's always great to hear that. Always great to hear that, Ryan. The fact that they actually gave Penny an ice cream cone is interesting to me because those are continuity headaches.
Oh, yeah. I'm wondering, based on some of the coverage we've seen through the season, if they bumped up to 3 cameras for this year.
Possibly.
Because depending on the rental costs or if they just had them around the studio, they were available, what have you. But yeah, because if you're careful with nailing it in all in one take and not having to cross cut between takes too much. But yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, it is, that's always terrifying, you know, and that's why they, you know, I mean, it's one of the grossest things about making movies is the spit bucket.
Yeah. I've heard about the spit bucket. Yeah. You take the food and anyway.
Yep.
Also, I love the story of Louis the Grocery Man.
Oh, I forgot to. That's the thing I forgot to write down. I knew there was something last night that I forgot to write down, and I wanted to go back to the episode and jot it down because I love the little rhyme of it.
Saga of Louis the Grocery Store Man. Look of Louis. It's so good.
They'll always be friends, and friends can do different things. I that is such an awesome thing for them to say, and it because we always have to keep remembering it. Even as adults.
Yeah. You have to let your friends go do what they're going to do. And you can be you and they can be them. And that's healthy. It's a darn good one. Darn good episode.
It's darn good, yeah. I don't know if we really can mention pros and cons because, I mean, there's very few cons to this episode. There's a few weak spots, you know, or some parts where the timing's not quite, you know, is could have been a little tighter, you know, or what have you. There's a little goofiness, but I just kind of love it. I just kind of love it, man.
Yeah, I can't think of any real cons either. This is just a good one. It's a good one. It's a remarkable one and a legendary one.
I dig it, Daddy-o.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's despite its cliches, I think it just ends on an interesting sense of truth. You know, despite the fact that one may be able to dream big and think of things abstract, vast, and vague, and they can. You know, the other is like this total literalist, or it's very much like it's a leaf. You know, I love the line of when Lenny shows it to Lenny, Laverne shows it to Lenny. What is this? It's the universe, and she's like horrified. And then he adds, "I mean, that's at least what Shirley told me, but between you and me, it looks kind of more like a leaf."
Yeah, it's so cute.
Both the literalist and the pontificator can agree on something in the middle, which is love and emotion.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, this episode is beautiful. I love it.
So, what are you ranking it?
God, it's about a 9 point. It's either I can't decide if it's a 9 or a 10. It's maybe close to a 10. I think it is a 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 as for now as a cautionary move as well. Yeah. But yeah.
It's really good. It is really good. Great direction, great script, beautiful Laverne and Lenny scene where they get to talk like adults. Really lovely. Really lovely stuff. Funny as heck.
Yes.
Great humor, great physical humor, great stuff for Cindy. This is some of the best stuff Cindy gets to do this season. She gets to do a lot of good stuff this season.
Yeah, it's been a really good run for this stretch. We're now at this point where we're out of episodes that we have notes for, and I'm like, I have seen a couple after this point. But I won't spoil which ones. But this is going to be. Whew. Yeah, it kind of reminds me a bit of like what we were discussing about season 3 is that, but yet I think the highs are higher here than they are in season 3. For me. Because it's like, because season 3 is like, it never really goes below like a 5 or a 6, but it doesn't hit the 8s and 9s the way this is like practically been hitting them like one after the other.
Yeah. This is a damn good season. This is a good season. I know you thought 4 was uneven, but I enjoy 4 more than you. 3 and 2 all, you know, they just one after the other. Bam, 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 bam.
Yep.
Season 6, we'll see how. Season 6, 7, we'll see how it goes, and then season 8. Season 8.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go get my
Nuns
blanket.
with pickles.
Oh god, oh no, I'm gonna get my blanket. I'm gonna cover myself with my blanket. I'm getting the blanket on my bed. I'm getting it. I'm trying the blanket right over my mouth. I got it over my mouth. Actually, just pull off my bed sheet in the process behind me.
The bed sheet dance. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. Is that everything for today?
I think it is.
All right. Cool. Well, I guess if that's everything for today, out there, boils and ghouls, all those folks out there that are wonderful and fabulous for taking the time to listen to it, we thank you again for coming to listen to Night After Night. And if you would like to know more, then you can hop on over to Night After Night PC on Twitter or Night After Night Pod on Facebook, Tumblr, WordPress, Patreon, YouTube, and wherever there might possibly be a podcast in your direction. Please leave us a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe if you would like to keep listening to the new episodes coming out. We do this every Friday, and we would like to give another special shout out to our wonderful art from Navtastic, and we also want to thank you again for being so gosh darn great. You're pretty hip, and we want to give you the snap of... Oh, God, actually, after the Avengers movies, saying you want to give anybody some sort of snap. No, okay, never mind. Sorry about that. So, yeah, I actually have not a clue what's up next, so I have nothing to make a joke about.
All right. The next episode, Laverne Shirley find themselves chained to a bomb in an electric company office. This is the right to light.
What?
Yeah, this really happened.
What?
It really happened.
Please tell me this is somehow tied to the third act of The Matrix Reloaded, because that would be excellent. If the Wachowskis tell us that was where the power station thing came from, that the set is the same or something, I would die. Oh, man.
Oh, my God. This is followed up, by the way, by one of the most serious episodes the show ever does. So, season 5, we are all over the place, and we're proud of it.
Well, I have something to look forward to. Awesome.
Yes.
Stay cool there, cool cats, rockin' chicks, and daddy-o dogs.